안녕하십니까. 글로벌 모니터 안근모입니다. 지난 한 주 동안 뉴욕 증시와 미국 국채 시장이 드라마틱한 동반 랠리를 펼쳤습니다. 전 현직 연준 의장이 작심한 듯이 힘을 합쳐서 금융시장에 아주 강한 자극을 불어넣었습니다. 지난 수요일 아침이었죠. 미국 재무부가 국채 발행 계획을 발표했습니다. 예상했던 대로 입찰 규모를 늘려서 발표했습니다. 그러나 시장이 우려했던 것만큼 그렇게 많이 늘리지는 않았습니다. 특히 만기가 긴 장기 국채보다는 만기가 짧은 단기 국채 쪽으로 발행 물량을 집중 늘리는 방식을 취했습니다. 장기 금리에 가해졌던 상승 압력을 덜어준 것이죠. 몇 시간 뒤에는 FOMC 결과가 발표됐습니다. 시장에서는 매파적 동결을 예상했는데 실제로는 비둘기적 동결이었습니다. 서프라이즈였죠. 제롬 파월 연준 의장은 기자회견에서 장기 금리가 급등하면서 금융 환경이 대폭 긴축됐다면서 이런 상태가 지속된다면 연준 정책금리 경로가 낮춰질 수도 있다고 공식화했습니다. 시장을 특히 환호하게 만든 것은 파월 의장의 잠재성장률 관련 발언이었습니다. 파월 의장은 미국의 잠재성장률이 과거보다 높아졌다면서 앞으로 1, 2년 동안 일시적으로나마 이런 상태가 지속될 수 있다고 말했습니다. 잠재성장률이 높아졌다면 미국 실제 성장률이 제법 높게 나오더라도 인플레이션에 별 문제가 없을 수 있습니다. 그렇다면 경제성장률이 높다는 이유만으로 추가 금리 인상을 할 필요는 상당히 줄어들 수 있겠죠. 게다가 높아진 잠재성장률은 내년부터 예상되는 연준 금리 인하 경로에도 상당한 영향을 줄 수가 있습니다. 잠재성장률이 높아졌다면 인플레이션에 미치는 하방 압력도 당초 예상했던 것보다 더 강할 것이라고 예상할 수 있겠죠. 그렇다면 연준의 금리 인하 폭은 당초 예상했던 것보다 더 커질 수가 있겠습니다. 파월 의장의 잠재성장률 관련 발언이 전해진 직후부터 뉴욕 증시는 본격적으로 치고 올라갔습니다. 금리는 본격적으로 곤두박질 쳤습니다. 그럼 파월 의장의 기자회견 주요 내용 함께 보시겠습니다.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Since early last year, the FOMC has significantly tightened the stance of monetary policy. We have raised our policy interest rate by 5.25 percentage points and have continued to reduce our securities holdings at a brisk pace. The stance of policy is restrictive, meaning that tight policy is putting downward pressure on economic activity and inflation, and the full effects of our tightening have yet to be felt. Today, we decided to leave our policy interest rate unchanged and to continue to reduce our securities holdings. Given how far we have come, along with the uncertainties and risks we face, the committee is proceeding carefully. We will make decisions about the extent of additional policy firming and how long policy will remain restrictive based on the totality of the incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. We are attentive to recent data showing the resilience of economic growth and demand for labor, evidence of growth persistently above potential, or that tightness in the labor market is no longer easing, could put further progress on inflation at risk and could warrant further tightening of monetary policy. Financial conditions have tightened significantly in recent months, driven by higher longer-term bond yields, among other factors. Because persistent changes in financial conditions can have implications for the path of monetary policy, we monitor financial developments closely. We remain committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal and to keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Reducing inflation is likely to require a period of below potential growth and some softening of labor market conditions.
Michael McKee from Bloomberg, you said you need slower growth. You had always said before a period of lower than trend growth. Has that changed? It sounds to me like you're basically saying here that the dot plot's out the window, that every meeting is live with the possibility of a rate increase for right now. It doesn't matter about the turn of the year.
Let's talk about the dot plot first. The dot plot is a picture in time of what the people on the committee thinks is likely to be appropriate monetary policy in light of their own personal economic forecast. In principle, when things change, that's not like a plan that anybody's agreed to or that we will do. That's a forecast that would change, for example. Many things could change that would cause people to say, I wouldn't write down that dot 6 weeks later. Think of the number of things that could change your mind on that. So I think the efficacy of the dot plot probably decays over the 3-month period between that meeting and the next meeting. But nonetheless, it's out there. We do personally update our forecast, but we don't formally update the dot plot. In terms of growth, what I said was below potential. So what you have here recently is growth that is temporarily, potential growth is elevated for a year or two right now over its trend level. So the right way to think about it is what's potential growth this year. People think trend growth over a long period of time is a little bit less than 2%, or I would say just around 2%. But what we've had is with the improvement in the size of the labor force, as I mentioned, through both participation and immigration, and with the better functioning in the labor market and with the unwinding of the supply chain and shortages and those kinds of things, you're seeing actually elevated potential growth. There's catch-up growth that can happen in potential. And that means that you could be growing at 2% this year and still be growing below the increase in the potential output of the economy. I hope that's clear. That's really what's going on. That's why I would say it as below potential.